Hi, how you doing? My name is Dan. I'm a private voice instructor and middle school chorus director here in Pennsylvania. I'm a firm believer that anyone can learn to sing and sing well. As a music teacher for over 20 years, I've seen the most incompetent singers really get good. It can be done, but it takes the right kind of practice. Singing songs won't make you a better singer. That's why you won't find any karaoke apps listed here. I know some people that have been singing their whole lives but are still terrible. No offense, Grandma. I'm making this video to share what I've learned after literally thousands of hours searching the App Store, assessing countless different apps designed to improve a student's rhythm, pitch, and overall musicianship, and finally getting thousands of kids to use these apps and see if they actually improve. I love the use of iPads for my course students for two reasons. Number one, it gives them immediate feedback on how well they're doing. And number two, many of these apps provide a visual representation of the pitch going up and down. And since we are a very visually oriented society, I believe that can help my students improve much faster. For this video, I've whittled my selection down to 7 apps that I guarantee will improve your rhythm, pitch, and musicianship. I will make it clear now that none of these apps will evaluate your voice tone, your power, your expression. Those are things you have to develop on your own. But these will develop your musical ear a lot, which is the absolute fundamental of being a great singer. It's a waste of time to develop vocal power if you don't have a rock-solid sense of beat and incredible pitch intonation. These are critical elements that even many professional singers don't have. Just do a Google search for how many professional singers use auto-tune. It's sad. If you get to sing with some good musicians in a live setting, they will instantly recognize if you are lacking in one of those categories. Okay, so let's get on with it. Okay, our first app is called Rhythm Sight Reading Trainer. On the iPad, it shows up as Read Rhythm. Rhythm is the most basic, primary element of music, so I put this app first. I've had so many kids over the years who have performed with the karaoke track and get totally lost, or they have had trouble singing lines of phrases that begin in the upbeat. That's called syncopation. As a singer, you should know exactly where the beat is at all times, down to the microsecond. Let me demonstrate this app for you.
App number 1, Rhythm Sight Reading Trainer. On the iPad, it says Read Rhythm. We're going to open that up. Here it is. This is the default setting. I would keep the default setting as is. You will start on level 0, and it'll play through 3 times. It'll play through this 3 times. Now all we have on level 0 is whole notes, half notes, and quarter notes. All right? This is the drum. This is where you will tap. It will also show some details down here when you're done. This enticing play button you are going to completely ignore. This secret button is the one you want to start off with. It'll click off 4 times and you'll play along. And we're going to see if your sense of rhythm is as good as you think it is. I will utilize a couple different counting systems as I play. Here we go. 2, ready, begin. You just play along. Now it does it 3 times, so get ready. It's going to start again. Do, 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 do. 1, 2, 4. 1, 1, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, I purposely played that last note wrong. Here we get to see some things. Green means you're doing perfectly. You're right on the beat. You're within, I don't know, 1/10 of a second or something. Red means you're a little early. Blue means you're a little late, but both are good. The X, red X or blue X, means you were so far off that it doesn't count. Orange means that note gave you the most trouble. Just ignore orange. All right, so you get a percentage, 97. Do not move on to the next level until you can get 100% repeatedly. How to move into the next level? We're going to hit I, random exercises, level 1, done. Okay, now we have 1/8 notes. All right, so I'll try couple different counting systems. If you don't like the pattern, just hit this arrow and you can mix them up. All right, let's try this one. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, begin. do, do, day, do, 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 day, do. 1, 3, 4, and 1, 3, 4, and 1, and 2, 3. You should get the bongos. You get the bongos and the well done, and there's your 100%. I'm ready to move on to the next level. What I suggest is do levels 1, 2, 3, and go straight to 9. Why 9? Is because it's the first time they introduce 16th notes, and you're going to need to be able to do 16th notes. All right, if you have something like this, a tie, just go to a next pattern. All right, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. You can just keep going until you find one you like. All right, let's try this one. I'll try it one time. Here we go. Do to day to do day, do to day to do day, do. 1 and a 2, 3, 4, and 1 and a 2 and 3. All right, I made a mistake right there. Missed that note. All right, so you're going to get percentages. Keep going on until you can repeatedly get 100%. When you can do that, and you're going to find out it's not as easy as you think it is, move on to the pitch apps.
I do not suggest moving on to any of the pitch apps until you can repeatedly perform rhythms on level 9 with 100% accuracy. Before we get to app number 2, let's find out if you are tone deaf. That's going to make your journey much longer, but not impossible. Most people claim to be tone deaf when they're really not. There's one way to find out. Use the Tone Deaf Test app. It's not one of my 7, but you'll need to know this before going on. Let me demonstrate it for you.
Okay, this is the tone deaf test. Before you try singing anything, try the tone deaf test. Apparently it's not going to let me turn it sideways. All right, take the test. All right, test sound. Okay, just to make sure your sound is working. Example, these 2 notes are the same. These 2 notes are different. Okay, here we go. Are these 2 notes the same or different? All right, go through. It has 20 questions, I believe. There's a couple different parts. Same. All right, go through. And at the end, it'll give you a score. And it'll say you're partially tone deaf, you're not tone deaf at all, or you're completely tone deaf. If you are, it's okay. It's just going to make your journey longer, like I said before. I would still be able to move on through things, but it's going to make it a lot harder.
Okay, app number 2, Sing True. I just discovered this app recently. My students thought that this app was fun, and it didn't take long for some of them to complete the free modules from start to finish. Don't move on until you can successfully perform all of the skills in module 1 and 2. Let me demonstrate it for you.
Okay, app number 2, Sing True. It only works in portrait mode. That's why I have this direction. Okay, when you open this up, you have 2 free modules. They are pitch and relative pitch. So go through. I would suggest just going through here, pass the quiz. So this is kind of like the tone deaf test you took. This pitch is up high, down low, up high. All right, that's down low, down low. All right, when you get through this one completely, it'll give you a score. Don't move on until you can completely get 100%. All right, you get a perfect score, then you take a little harder test. Then I would suggest, before going on to voice, that you do mind, because you're going to be using a note a lot, and you want it to be comfortable for you to sing. So let's find out which note is your note. Relax, open your mouth. You want to do it all the way until the circle's over. Okay, so now you have your note. You can go back. All right, now I would suggest to do voice, because it's going to be using your note. First, listen to your note. This is the note I just sang. Now you have to try to sing it right in there and stay as close as you can. All right, I'll give you a score. Now for my chorus kids, I do not let them move on until they can get at least a 95% in all of these. Hold yourself accountable to a high standard before moving on. And then you got to be on target. This actually shows you a target, and you have to try to stay on the target. La. I didn't get a good breath. All right, you can see here, it'll show you this gray line is where you should be. You can see I was on pitch, and then I went up, and then I went down, and then I went back to the pitch, okay? And again, try to get 90-95% before moving on. It might take you a long time. All right, when you're done with all of that, move on to relative pitch. These two are free, these modules. Do the same thing. This is an ear training exercise. Here you have to sing some notes, again, like the target. This is all about breathing, sustaining your breathing and holding it. The last level here is 15.1 seconds you have to hold a note. So that is Sing True. I would not go on to the next singing app until you finish these modules and get stars on all of them. I would not suggest, this is free by the way, I would not suggest going on unless you want to go to the store and buy other ones. Okay, Sing True, there it is.
Okay, app number 3. Errol Singer Studio. This app is ridiculously good. When I first downloaded it years ago, it was around $20. Now it's $45. I know that's a lot of money, but I can't stress enough what a fantastic app it is. Check out the ratings on the App Store. 5 stars for 415 ratings. If 415 people paid that much money for an app and they still give it a 5-star rating, you know it must be good. I've barely scratched the surface of this app, and I found it to be very useful. Let me demonstrate some of the benefits of this app.
App number 3, Errol Singer Studio. On the iPad, it just shows up as Singer Studio. This is the very expensive one, but I believe well worth it because it is so extensive. Okay, first thing when you open this, you're going to go to My Range if it's not already picked. And here's all you do. You want all of these exercises to be based around your voice range. So you're going to double-click the green area. It'll flash red and blue, and it's listening to me right now. La, and then you can move up your voice. La. When you're done, click it. That is your range, and it will stay in there for all the exercises. Now, for the purposes we're using right now, I'm going to actually shrink this range to a very tiny, small amount so you can see how this works. Okay, now you want to go down here to training. This is the meat of this program. There's so many different programs and different things you can do here. Start at the beginning and you just move along as you progress. I'm going to go to beginning program 1 so you can see how this works. You can visually see your notes. Now, it does recommend headphones, but it would be dumb to use those right now. Okay, so I'm just going to hit start, and it's going to play one note, and then I'm going to start singing along. Now you'll see my voice singing either with the notes or above or below. If I'm doing well, these blue things will turn green. If I'm doing poorly, they'll be blue. Here we go. La 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 la. La 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 la. When you are all done, it'll give you percentages. All right? You can see these percentages here. You really want to try to get as close to 100 as you can for every single note. But it tells you where you're weak. All right, this note was weak coming down the scale. Actually, the last two, 45 and 47. Now, for my students, they have to add their lowest score and their highest score, which would be the 79 or 76, and add them together. If they get over 160, they're doing very well. So shoot for that. See if you can get your lowest score and highest score, add them together, and get over 150, 160, and you're doing well. And then go on to the next program. Okay, and again, I'm going to X out of that, and that's then training. And you can go through all these different programs. All right, if you're a guy and you're having trouble, let's say your range is this big, you can hit very high notes in your head voice and low notes in your low voice, but you're having trouble in the middle, just get rid of the high note range. Just make it small and stay in that area. Stay in a comfortable area. Okay, that is Errol Singer Studio. I'm just on the tip of the iceberg with this one. There's so much you can do. We've just looked at a little bit that it can do, but it can really track your progress and tell you how you're doing. See, it tells you the ranges here. Here's the dates I've used it and the range I had at those particular times. And the training, you can see the scores that you had there, and it updates all the time. Really fantastic program.
Okay, app number 4, Piano Tuner. I'm not sure why this is called Piano Tuner and not Piano Tuner, but this app is very good at teaching micro tuning and exact pitch. In my demonstration, you'll see what those are.
App number 4, Piano Tuner. There's a free version of this program. Here it is, Piano Tuner. All right, there it is. I'm not going to rate you right now. All right, it's listening to everything I say and telling me exactly what note and frequency it is. I would just suggest picking any note that's in your range and trying to stay steady on it. And this is where we get into micro tuning. Okay, let's say, example, you pick a D. Let's find a D. Right there. All right, so let's say you're a little low. La. A lot of people, when they try to go up, they move their voice a lot. Okay, maybe 2 or 3 notes. But micro tuning is moving ever so slowly. Most people can't even tell that you're moving up. La. There I did. I moved it up to D. All right, what your goal is for this app is to stay on a particular note for 3 seconds. Exactly 3 seconds, okay? It's hard to stay in that green area for 3 seconds. I'm going to go up a little higher to a G. G. And it doesn't matter what note you pick. Just pick something that's comfortable in your range and try to hit it exactly on and stay there. Pick a whole bunch of different notes and count 3 seconds staying in the green. G. It's really going to help you micro tuning. You're going to find out you're going to be going above it and below it a lot. And you're going to swing back and forth like a pendulum trying to hit that note. But eventually it will get you good at micro tuning and staying exactly on your note. Now you might think you're a very steady singer, but this shows you that we all shake a little bit. So it's good at having you sing a note and try to sing notes in your upper range, your middle range, your low range, and try to stay on that note. G. Not easy. And then pick a higher note, C. Some of my kids take 2 or 3 classes to do 3 of these. And then keep going up to the top of your range. F. Now what I find is sometimes the higher notes are easier than the lower notes, but for everybody it's different. This is Piano Tuner, and it's interesting to see the frequency that you're actually singing at for a lot of these. And it doesn't matter, like I said, what note you choose, but just stick with it and try to hit it right on. And use notes all around your range and try to hit them exactly on. And practice actually maybe going above the note a little bit and sliding down to it, or maybe below the note and sliding up to it. It really tunes your ear for the exact pitch, because sometimes people are a little flat all the time or a little sharp all the time. This is one of those apps that really takes care of that. Piano Tuner.
Okay, app number 5, Vocalist. This is one of my students' favorite apps. It's like Flappy Bird. It's addicting. This app is great at practicing instant pitch recall and music phrase replication. Let me demonstrate 2 parts of this app that I use with my students.
App number 5, Vocalist. This is one of mine and my students' favorite apps. There it is. There's a light version and this, which I think is a few bucks. Okay, first thing you're going to do is enter your vocal range. If you don't know your vocal range, I think every singer should know their vocal range, but if you don't, it's okay. I'm male. I'm normal, somewhat. Okay, and start the game. If you feel very confident, you might want to go easy, medium, hard. I would start with beginner level. If you're not sure. Simply plays a note, and you have to sing it back. La. Try to stay in the green area. La. If you get 3 in a row, it starts doubling your score. But you can visually see your note on this one too. La. Okay, this is your life over here. If you start doing poorly, your life will go down and eventually diminish and you'll die. La. All right, I'm not doing so well. La. I'm doing terrible. My life is going down and you'll eventually get a score. But you can revive your score. La. Revive your life. It's coming back up. All you need to do is do a couple right ones in a row. La. And you're good as gold. Okay. Eventually you'll go to 2 different notes and it'll start playing 3 notes. All right. Once you can get up to 5,000 on there, 5,000, you're good. I would move on to the next level. All right. So you can try easy, which I don't think is easy. Medium, and then hard. Let's try hard just to see what it's like. When you can hit 5,000. Da 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 da. All right. If you can get 5,000 on the hard level, you've got a very, very good ear. It's going to take a long time to work up to that level. Okay, that's one thing to do. There's also another thing in this app that I use for my students, and I go to lessons, scales, up and down, major. Now this is your vocal range, okay? I'm gonna pick this is actually low to high. Just sings up a scale. How hard is that? Not as easy as you think. I have some students that can get 100% in all of these, but it's tough. Do, ti, la, so, fa, mi, re, do. To get 100 is difficult. All right, I can only get 94 there. All right, so keep doing these. Try a couple different scales. See if you can get in the 90s, 95 to 100, and you're good there. Very, very good ear training exercises, I believe. All right, that's Vocalist. That's a wonderful app, and it's fun.
Okay, app number 6, Swift Scales. If you have successfully completed the first 5 apps, including scoring above 3,000 on the hard level of the Vocalist game, then you're ready for real vocal training. This includes breathing, vowel formation and consistency, sustaining notes, and performing scales and arpeggios, and really getting to know your voice and what it is capable of. Vocal exercises are designed to make you an adaptable and skillful singer in all styles. I recently stumbled upon Swift Scales and love it. It is similar in many ways to Errol Singer Studio, but it won't listen to you and assess your pitch while you are singing the exercises. That's why it's way cheaper than Errol Singer Studio at the current rate of $3.99. Let me demonstrate some of the great qualities of Swift Scales.
Okay, this is the Swift Scales app. I really love this one. This is the dashboard. Let's go to that. Singing basics. Here it has information about the voice, written by voice experts. Obviously, it's really well written. Here's a little hidden gem, breath. All right, it mentions here that the breath is the fuel for your voice to ignite, and it must be provided to the voice in the proper amount for the sound you are trying to achieve. All right, and this exercise, the intervals are unpredictable and sometimes rapidly change. This will also prepare you for the breathing demands of more difficult songs. So it starts predictably. You breathe in for 4. I always recommend my students, if you can, breathe in through your nose, and then you're going to hiss out, in for 6, out for 10. But as it goes, it gets very unpredictable. Sometimes you can only breathe in for 2, but you have to hiss for 20 out. Just like a real song, you might not have a lot of time to breathe in, but you have to hold a long phrase. Also, this pitch exercise, this is wonderful. You pick any pitch here. Let's pick C4, middle C. All right, and you're going to tap to record. La, and then it will play it back while the pitch is playing. And it'll show you if your sound flat or sharp. Most people do this, they sound very flat after they've recorded it. Okay, there's lots of other great informational things in here. It talks about the scales and then the ranges, the different ranges like your vocal fry, chest voice, middle voice, head voice, even the whistle voice is in there. All right, let's go back and let's do some exercises here. Here's some scales. You can go to routines and it will give you like a baritone routine and it'll set everything up for you. Now here's all the different scales in here. These are the names of the scales. Let's go to flexibility. This is your beats per minute and you want to start on C3. Let's preview it. All right, let's do this one. We'll start. Let me show you some things here. Okay, it demonstrates it first and then you just tap anywhere and it begins it. La 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 la. La 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 la. And it'll just keep going up and up and up until you sweep down and it'll change back down. So it'll go as high as you want it to go. If you go right, it will go to the next exercise. Start it. La 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 la. La 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 la. It'll just keep going up and up and up until you, whoops, sweep down, it'll change back down to D. All right, again, it doesn't listen to you, but it's really got some great things. Okay, you want to change it, it's too slow, you can change the beats per minute, you can change where it starts. There's lots of different scales and exercises in here. Really great app. I haven't even touched on a lot of the other things here. You can create your own scale. So if you don't like any of the scales that are in there, you can make your own, which I think is wonderful as well. Really great app, Swift Scales.
Okay, app number 7, Matt Farnsworth Vocal Studio. Matt Farnsworth is a vocal instructor in New York City who has quite a resume. He's been a vocal consultant for Broadway and worked with some big names in the music industry. His app is very well put together and is designed for any person that needs to use their voice a lot, including fitness instructors as well. There are so many wonderful videos and exercises in this app that it almost makes the job of a private voice instructor like myself obsolete. Okay, not really. Let me be clear that there is absolutely no substitute for a private vocal coach. If you have one near you and can afford it, I highly recommend it. But I understand that it's not an option for everyone. Let me demonstrate this wonderful app.
Okay, here's the Matt Farnsworth Vocal Studio app. I do not have everything released on this particular iPad, but when you open it up, you get these options. I'm going to be using this for singing today. He calls this algorithms. You follow the algorithms, and it will provide the perfect videos for you based on how you're feeling and how you want to sing today. Let's use pop and country. I want to sing in the middle of the range. Today I feel healthy. So he will set up, I do not want to belt today. And he will set up videos that he thinks is appropriate for what you would like to do today. And it's got lots of warm-ups, and this is like you have a private vocal coach telling you what to do. Of course, he's not listening to you as a real vocal coach would, but he's got fantastic advice. Now, here's the entire library here, all his videos, and there's something like 120 different videos that apply to every possible scenario. So let's go to one.
This exercise will help release the laryngeal muscles and activate your breath pressure. Take your fingers and put them on the fleshy part of your cheeks like so. Then slightly push up and take a breath and blow bubbles through your lips. It should never feel tight or pinched, like.
All right, so let's practice that. He shows you what to do, and then he gives you this to practice. Okay, that's really slow, so you can speed it up. So depending on what you feel like today and what you want to work on, there's a whole set of videos just for you. I think this is $9.99 to buy all access into every video. And he's got a lot of different advice for females who might be having trouble with certain vowels and what to do and what kind of exercises to practice for that one. I found it very helpful. This is the MF Voice app.
There may be other great singing apps out there, but these are just some of the ones that I've come across and I use in my chorus classes regularly. I've witnessed hundreds of students improve by leaps and bounds as singers and musicians by using these apps, and I hope you do as well. If you find success using these apps or you have suggestions for others, please comment below. Thanks.